fun car to drive, you know, only driven on Sundays on the weekend. A national level autocrosser posted this car for sale on Bring a Trailer, and I saw it immediately because, you know, I'm always looking. And I thought, this is kind of exactly what I'm looking for. But at the time I didn't really have the money, and then I had a whole bunch of friends start goading me into this and saying, hey, you need to buy this car, hey, what do you think? So I thought, you know, maybe I'll toss a couple bids on this, see what happens. I ended up getting into a bidding war over the last 20 minutes of this auction. You know, I'd bid something, the next guy would bid something, and it would just keep going. And I think we extended that bidding past the time slot that it was supposed to end by at least 20 minutes, half an hour, just back and forth bidding. And I was on my final bid, I was like, you know what, I'm not paying any more for this. This is what I'm gonna put down. If I don't get it, I don't get it, not the end of the world. And it turns out I won. So after that, I kind of freaked out. I was like, well shit, I just bought this car on the internet. I've never seen it before. So I do autocross, I do HPDEs, and Watkins Glen, New York safety track, stuff like that. It's really good on the track, it's really good at autocross, and that's really kind of just where I plan on taking most of it. It has MCS two-way remote reservoir coilovers, which are pretty nice. I just changed the spring rates over the winter, so hopefully it should ride a little better. It's got a big front sway bar and actually no rear sway bar, just to try to keep it a little bit more balanced because it can get tail happy sometimes. And then it's got the Bremko brakes from the Nismo package, and the rest of it is kind of simplify and add lightness. So a lightweight exhaust system, full-length headers, and then there's pretty much no interior left in it from the seats back. So I want to get it on a better tune because right now it can get a little choppy. I want to try to dial in suspension a little better. I just put some new spring rates on it, and I haven't really tested those out yet because I haven't had tires yet this year. And then just try to take it really to the limits of the classing that I race in.
So this is the first 350Z I've been in. I know it's really controversial if the VQ sounds great or sounds terrible. Personally, I've typically liked the sound of them, but as all VQs go, this one sounds the best I've ever heard. First impressions, brakes. Man, you can really tell this thing is set up for track use. Bridge. I like the sound. I do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Pedals, decent for heel toe. Larger number than I would expect. The 350Z really does feel like it's the do whatever you want platform. Now this one, set up for track, duty, it feels it. Oh man, those brakes. This car has so much brakes. It feels like it's a Japanese Mustang in a lot of ways. You know, Stefan and I drove last season that Camaro and Mustang back to back. This is a generation earlier than those cars. It definitely feels like the Japanese car in the same segment. similar sight lines. You're definitely sunk way down low. Throaty sound. Definitely delivers power in a different way. It's not a lumping V8. Gauges feel somewhat retro. It's a cool thing. Oh wow. Yeah, this thing's dialed. Yeah, I get it. I gotta say, just the slightest bit of throttle and you're making noise. And I like that noise. So hate me. Sorry.
I love this thing. It's I'm not a big 350 fan. Some of them can be done right, most of them are just kind of neat. But this thing is like, it's lowered, it's on RPF ones, excellent taste, and it's just loud enough that it will definitely wake your neighbors up. So we're gonna take a new route today. If Dylan didn't already mention this, since we're leaving from the shop, we have a smaller route that's closer, takes less time, lets us do the reviews a little faster, and the roads are significantly better. Some nice twisty roads right around the corner. I hate the saying it handles like it's on rails because, you know, some compliance is good. This thing handles unbelievably. You know, you whip it into a turn, full faith that it's gonna do what you want. The best way to describe it is it's stiff, but I could drive this 8 hours and probably be okay. Just put a cushion under the seat, because right now there isn't one. And the drone's not bad. I'm going kind of highway speeds. The drone isn't bad, especially when you're just right on the throttle. But then when you want it, you know, you just quick little downshift. If any of you have heard most VQs, they sound terrible. Absolutely awful. They drive by my house all the time, and without looking, I can tell you it's a VQ. This sounds like my old 24 valve VR6, my Mark IV GLI, and I love that thing. Like, if I could take that sound and put it in a Miata, game over. Oh, and the brakes, holy shit. Super modular brakes, like, not like the Civic we drove last year where it was all or nothing. Still really like those brakes. This is a lot like the WRX where there's braking, light braking for traffic, but then, you know, this is he tracks this thing. It's been on the Glen, all sorts of things like that. It's set up for that, and the brakes are set up for that. Suspension's set up for that, the tires are good. I mean, this thing is, for a cheap weekend car, if you're looking for something to just like hoon around with your friends and some back roads, as much as I hate to say it, I could definitely do this. This sounds great, it drives great. I mean, he's got a lot of money in suspension, but worth it, absolutely worth it. And the sound never gets old to me. It might be replacing the Miata in terms of affordable, you know, I want to get into tuning cars or modifying cars. This is probably the new Miata, because Miatas are getting stupidly expensive nowadays. So if you want a nice entry-level car to get your feet wet in the most expensive hobby ever, this might be the right play.
All right, so that is a wrap for the review. Thanks a lot for having us. Stefan, what were your big takeaways?
The brakes and the fact that it doesn't sound like a trombone. It's the only VQ that doesn't sound like garbage. Prove me wrong.
I like VQs in general, but this is definitely the best sounding in my opinion. What is the exhaust on there?
It's a hodgepodge of custom garbage.
Well, it sounds amazing. It doesn't sound like garbage.
below.
Anyway, yes, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill. We've got reviews again. Oh my God, it's happening. Season 2 reviews coming your way. Stay tuned. Thanks. Did you grab my wallet? It's right in the center console. Same with my phone. I don't intend on getting pulled over, but hey, I'd like to be able to at least show my ID.